said, follow your business leader friends because they are showing you the way. Do not be afraid of the NRA.
Fred Guttenberg, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for speaking out. And again, we give you our deepest condolences, but thank you for your voice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And my panel now joins me now to discuss. Karine Jean-Pierre is a senior advisor for MoveOn.org. Jason Johnson is politics editor at TheRoot.com. And Fernand Amandi is a Democratic pollster from my former home state of Florida. I want to get your reaction to what you just heard from Fred Guttenberg, Fernand.
Wow, it's powerful. I mean, as powerful as he was the night of the CNN town hall when he called Marco Rubio pathetically weak, you heard what he said in those very emotional words. And to really paraphrase Kanye West, what Fred Guttenberg just said is that the National Rifle Association does not care about dead American children. And we cannot count on any Republican office holder right now to show us the legislation, the signed legislation, Joy, that is going to bring about the change that is necessary. It is these Parkland parents and these Parkland students that are setting the lead for this country. America's corporate interests are following suit. You see what Delta did just the other day when they said that their values are not for sale. Meanwhile, we listen to this president of the United States say something one day, something on the other day. Only a fool would continue to believe anything this compulsive liar talks about. And I don't anticipate anything happening until what former Congressman Jolly said, former Republican Congressman Jolly, Joy, he said, if you want action on gun control in this country, if you want gun reform now, you need to vote out every single Republican member of Congress. Until that happens, don't expect any action on gun control.
And, you know, as if to reinforce that point, Karine Jean-Pierre, NPR reports that Congress, there's no plan of action for any gun legislation regulations. Another one, New York Times on the challenges facing Senator Cornyn's bill to fix the background check system, the Fix NICS Act that we hear so much about, which people on both sides of the gun debate agree is modest, has 49 sponsors in the Senate. Mr. McConnell cannot sidestep Senate rules to bring it to the floor quickly for a vote because unanimous consent is required to do so. At least one senator, Republican Mike Lee of Utah, has objected, not to mention the money. Here's how much money the NPR spent to help Donald Trump and the GOP in 2016. $54.4 million on the 2016 election, $31.2 million to elect Trump, $19.8 million against Clinton. So that money and that obedience on the part of Republicans seems to be unchanged by Parkland.
I think that's exactly right. Look, the Republican Party and Donald Trump are wholly owned subsidiaries of the NRA. I mean, that is just a fact. Just what you listed out shows that over and over again. And, you know, in the past week, Donald Trump has spent more time meeting with the NRA than meeting with gun violence victims. I mean, that is where we are. Everything that he's doing and saying that makes you think he might make a change is just a head fake. He's going to go in line. He will not do anything that the NRA does not want him to be doing. And one of his first executive orders was to make it easier for mentally ill people to get guns. I mean, so the only way we are going to stop this is just like what those kids, those victims, the Parkland victims have been saying, just like Fernand has been saying, is that this is it. In November, we got to go to the polls. We got to kick these folks out. We got to kick the Republicans out of office and make a big statement. That's the only way anything is going to change.
And you know, Jason, I want to play for you two presidents talking about the issue of guns. One of whom is speaking from a point of view of absolute obeisance and obedience, and the other whom is Ronald Reagan. First, let's listen to Donald Trump last year at the NRA convention.
But you came through for me, and I am going to come through for you. The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. You have a true friend and champion in the White House. No longer will federal agencies be coming after law-abiding gun owners.
I do not believe in taking away the right of the citizen to own guns for sporting, for hunting and so forth, or for home defense. But I do believe that an AK-47, a machine gun, is not a sporting weapon or needed for defense of the home.
Jason Johnson, is there a way to wrestle the shot collar off of the Republican Party when it comes to the NRA? Or is Karine Jean-Pierre right? Is Fernand right that they simply have to be defeated at the ballot box? It's the only way.
Joy, the only way you can defeat them at the ballot box is at the ballot box, because there's an inherent dishonesty and disingenuousness with the way that gun owners are often represented. Look, lots of people own guns. People in my family own guns. They're not the crazies. The NRA are the crazies in the situation. I was at that speech last year in Atlanta in 2017 where Trump spoke, and I always thought it was very interesting that this is a state, Georgia, where they had a guns everywhere bill. You can bring guns into class. You can bring guns into churches. You could have guns all the way around. But strangely, we weren't allowed to bring guns in the room when Trump spoke. Why? Because it's dangerous. Because having guns in places where there could be innocent people or public officials around is inherently problematic. Arming teachers is not a good idea. You really want to give guns to all those teachers protesting in West Virginia right now? I think at the end of the day, the American people realize that if money is going to talk, the only thing that talks louder is votes, and that's what's going to happen this fall. I see a lot of Republicans and some Democrats with high grades from the NRA getting booted out of office in November.
Quick last word to you, Fernand Amandi. Does anything pass in Tallahassee in this session? Another voting today?
Absolutely not. Why? Because Governor Marion Hammer won't allow it, Joy. That's why.
Yeah, the permanent governor of Florida, Marion Hammer. Get to know her. There's a piece on her in the New Yorker. I recommend everybody read it. Karine Jean-Pierre, Jason Johnson, Fernand Amandi, thank you all. Much more AM Joy coming up. Stay with us.